Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Janelle's big win was the kind of headline that even longtime Sister Wives fans had second thoughts about. How she took down Kody with a $415,000 judgment. And while the words were bold, the story behind them was even bolder, because this wasn't just a matter of legal paperwork and numbers. This was years of quiet tension, unresolved resentment, and the type of marital business entanglements that turn an ordinary divorce into a financial battle royale. And Janelle Brown, often painted as the quiet, practical wife on TLC's long-running reality series, had just proven she could wield her own kind of power when cornered, with a patience and precision that blindsided the man who once proudly declared himself the leader of the Brown family. A patriarch who, in her eyes, had long since abandoned fairness for favoritism. The roots of this $415,000 court victory can be traced back to the family's move from Las Vegas to Flagstaff, a decision that Kody had championed against the cautious instincts of Janelle, who had been the unofficial CFO of the family for years, managing bills, tracking expenses, and trying to keep a sprawling polygamist household from spiraling into financial chaos. And although she played along publicly, behind the scenes she was already keeping detailed records of every shared cost, every debt, every unexplained transfer from accounts that were supposed to benefit all the wives, but often seemed to disproportionately benefit one household in particular. Robin's. This record-keeping became the skeleton key to her eventual victory, because as the years passed, and the Coyote Pass land project turned into a quagmire of unpaid taxes, stalled building plans, and passive-aggressive on-camera arguments, Janelle quietly realized that her financial ties to Kody and the communal funds could be legally untangled, but only if she moved carefully. And so, when cracks began to form in their relationship after he openly admitted prioritizing Robin's needs, she began speaking to a lawyer, feeding them everything from bank statements to text messages about emergency withdrawals. Messages in which Kody would insist he was reallocating resources for the family's long-term goals. Code words that in practice often meant luxury purchases or large cash movements that never came back. And while Janelle had endured plenty of emotional slights on camera, being ignored at family meetings, having her parenting questioned, it was the financial disregard that hit the hardest, especially when she was left struggling to pay off her own property loan while watching money flow into accounts she couldn't access. The breaking point, she would later reveal to close friends, came when she discovered a $120,000 withdrawal from a shared account that she and Kody had both contributed to, with the funds moved shortly before she had requested help covering overdue property taxes on her own parcel of Coyote Pass, a request Kody had denied by claiming there was no liquidity at the moment, and when she confronted him, his dismissive tone, telling her to figure it out because we all make sacrifices, planted the seed for what would become the most calculated counterstrike of her life. She initiated formal separation discussions, which Kody believed were more emotional than financial, not realizing that her lawyer had already mapped out a full accounting of their intertwined assets, liabilities, and revenue streams, including TLC appearance fees, merchandise sales, and even cameo earnings that had been deposited into accounts under Kody's control. And when the case finally hit the courthouse, Janelle's calm demeanor masked a legal ambush. Her attorney presented the judge with a color-coded timeline showing every dollar that had moved between their shared accounts over the past 6 years, highlighting instances where Janelle's contributions had been used for expenses unrelated to her household, accompanied by receipts, invoices, and most damningly, written confirmations from Kody himself acknowledging the withdrawals, evidence that under the state's laws made her eligible for reimbursement plus penalties. And while Kody's lawyer argued that these were family decisions, made in the context of a plural marriage, the judge was unmoved, noting that the legal separation transformed these family decisions into financial obligations subject to equitable distribution, and that Kody's own documentation undermined his defense. Spectators in the courtroom reported that Kody's confident swagger began to falter as the dollar figures piled up. And by the time Janelle's attorney concluded, the total amount owed to her had been calculated down to the penny, $415,327.48, a number that hit the air like a gunshot, leaving Kody visibly stunned and, according to one eyewitness, momentarily speechless, staring down at the table while JANELLE, seated just a few feet away, maintained an expression that was equal parts relief and quiet vindication. The judgment itself was more than just money. It was a symbolic shift in the family power dynamic, proof that Kody's once unquestioned control could be challenged and defeated by one of the women who had lived for decades under his leadership. And the aftermath rippled far beyond the courthouse walls, with fans flooding social media to hail JANELLE as a hero, a strategist, a woman who had played the long game and won, while speculation swirled about what this meant for the remaining family members, especially Christine, who had already scored her own legal and emotional victories, and Mary, whose relationship with Kody had long been emotionally severed. Insiders claimed that TLC producers were already discussing how to incorporate the court battle into future episodes, aware that the real-life drama could spike ratings, but also worried that Kody's public image was becoming too toxic to anchor the series. And as for JANELLE, sources close to her said she wasn't planning to gloat, though privately, she couldn't help but feel a sense of poetic justice, recalling all the years she had been told to trust the process and support the vision, while quietly balancing checkbooks and stretching her budget to cover her kids' needs. Now, with the $415,000 judgment in hand, she had not only secured her financial independence, but also delivered a message to Kody and anyone else paying attention. She was not to be underestimated. She was not to be sidelined, and she was more than capable of protecting herself when pushed too far. And perhaps the most telling detail of all was how she left the courthouse that day. Not with a triumphant wave to the cameras, but with the same steady, purposeful stride that had carried her through years of shared mortgages, blended family logistics, and televised chaos. As if to say that while the world might see this as a sensational moment of revenge, for her, it was simply the conclusion of unfinished business, and maybe, just maybe, the start of an entirely new chapter where her name would no longer be just part of Kody Brown's plural marriage story, but the headline of her own. Sister Wives star Kody Brown did not make a good impression with the cast on Special Forces. World's Toughest Test. He has had arguments with another show co-star who is female. Brianna LaPaglia has already acknowledged that on Special Forces, she and Kody Brown did not get along well. That, however, does not appear to be the only star with whom he disagreed. Continue reading to learn more about this circumstance and what transpired. Kody Brown has revealed that he will appear on Special Forces in Season 4. It's hard to keep up this show. The contestants must complete extremely difficult mental and physical challenges. Only a few from the start make it to the finish. However, fans never expected to see Kody Brown on the show. Everyone will find this to be entertaining. Brianna LaPaglia, Teresa and Gia Giudice, Brittany Cartwright, and numerous others are among the show's other stars. Fans will be eager to watch Season 4 of the show. Do you intend to observe?